Welcome back to another Topic Talk. This one's gonna be a little more on the serious side, as we have a lot of news coming out about a certain player who has had a kind of history within alcohol abuse and general just kind of shitty behavior. So we're gonna talk about that today. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing that we have here is how this all started, as far as on the Twitter. Elegant. Well, Shannon, made a tweet longer about Elegant. Now we have talked. Now the thing is, in this tweet longer, and I'm going to paraphrase a decent amount of it. Basically, what in her tweet longer, she says that Elegant and her have been friends for quite some time, and then nothing really happened between them. They've been able to hang out a bunch of times like it was nothing. At Collision, they got really, really drunk. They stayed in the same room. And at some point in the night, Elegant, and her had sex, but she's not sure how it actually started. She feels as though, like, Elegant jumped into her bed, and, like, because she was too drunk or whatever, like, it just kind of, like, happened or whatever. And then when she woke up in the morning, like, she realized that, like, something happened between them, and she was, like, very shaken up about it. Went back, cried all throughout the day about it. And it originally was going to let it go. But then when we went to SmashCon, she tried to tell Elegant, hey, man, like, you need to get some help. Like, we feel for you. You have a lot of things going on that I think you need to get help for. Like, and, I love you and I hope to see you get better. And he took that as an attempt or a chance to, like, be all over her at this bar. And on top of that, asked for her to go back to his room again, even after all the stuff that just happened. And after her probably telling him that, like, yeah, I wasn't really cool with all the stuff that happened. So in this tweet longer, by the way, the person that said make good decisions was me, because I did see Elegant, like, all over, make good choices. I said make good decisions, because I did see Elegant all over her, and I know how Elegant gets at this point in time. Like, he gets very touchy-feely when he's drunk, and genuinely he's probably with someone who doesn't really, like, have an issue with that, but she didn't look that comfortable to me, and I couldn't tell if that was, like, on him or on her. So I came over there and I was just like, yeah, man, I know you've been drinking, just make good decisions. And I walked off. So I didn't know all the rest of the stuff that's happened. I didn't know about this part of her, like, yelling out that she needed help so she'd get away from him and things like that. Because after that point in time, I left. I went to go to sleep. Genuinely, the contention for this tweet longer is that, like, it seems like you had a drunk hookup and you kind of regret it now. And I think that's a really, like, kind of shitty way to put it. I do think that, like, that there is somewhat, like, a little bit of merit to that idea if it was a one-off thing and not all the rest of the stuff came out. But I think she has just been uncomfortable since then and hasn't really figured out, like, what fully happened, how to address it, and she finally found a way to address it. So her tweet longer was the one that started it. I think this one probably caught the most amount of flack per se in comparison to other people's tweet longers, but it didn't stop there, because 3 more tweet longers came out. One coming in from Sailor Magatron, who details her experiences with Elegant, and a lot of it seems very abusive. And then the craziest one that I saw before we got to Lauren's was KJet Shadows, where she so this one, Elegant comes to visit her in San Antonio. She's like, I don't think that there's anything more, like, we don't see each other like that, or she didn't see that he saw her like that. She was like, I thought we were just hanging out, which is, like, totally fine. They hang out throughout Texas. She brings them around her friends who are, like, not gamers, and Elegant's kind of being a head ass here, tells his friends that he hates the shit country and her boyfriend's in the U.S. Army, so that was pretty weird. Elegant then goes to spend time with her Smash friends because she had to go do some other stuff. Her Smash friends and Elegant get drunk, but I guess he gets entirely too drunk because that's what he does. She takes him back to his place, or her place, her parents' place, really, so that, like, he can go to sleep, because he's like super drunk or whatever. In the middle of the night, he gets up from the couch that he was sleeping on to go jump into her bed. She did not wake up to that, and so he does, at least give her $600 to try to pay for the bed. And, like, I mean, I guess that's some consolation, but at the same time, like, this is all wild, right? So that was her tweet longer. This is the one that I think that everyone was like, okay, yeah, this man's got to go. And then at the end of it all, we get, there we go. We get Lauren's tweet longer, and her tweet longer really just kind of goes through her whole like a relationship with Elegant, because yeah, they dated for quite some time and then they were off and on for a bit, but throughout these situations, Elegant has always been relatively abusive to her. Genuinely, I think people when it first started, people were like, oh man, like I don't really think you can ban him for just kind of like being shitty, like whatever, but it's like it's bigger than that. It's bigger than that, because the thing is, people have tried to help Elegant. People who don't even know him that well have tried to help Elegant. I have talked to him in different situations just to be like, bro, and I didn't talk to him because like I knew what was going on. I talked to him because like I could see that he was doing bad in tournament, and he was going down on him, and he was getting down on himself, and then he would like be moping around, like tournaments, like, oh, what was me, and I'm like, bro, it's on you. Like, you're a competitor at the end of the day. You can't be getting blackout drunk every day, right? And then wondering why your placements are so bad, because you're not thinking clearly, you're hungover, you're probably not playing up to your best. You can't be mad at anyone but yourself, right? And so I told him this. Like, I told him in the way, I was like, bro, if you want to place better, then stop drinking during tournaments. Like, I've told him this in 2 different occasions, at least that I know of. And I thought, for the second time I talked to him, I thought he really heeded my words, but apparently he did not. So he just kept going about doing what he was going to do with these tournaments. I genuinely did not know it was that bad. And the thing is that I've seen a lot of people on Twitter talking about well, if it was so bad, how come you guys didn't step up earlier? The thing is, if you are really on that side of things, after seeing everything that happened in 2020, right? And how every time almost any girl came out with anything that they had to say, there was so much public backlash to be like, oh, you could have handled this privacy, or oh, you're just doing this for clout, or oh, like it's not even that bad and shit. Like, if you really feel that way, you're not coming at it from a place of sympathy and understanding, because it is very hard to come out about anybody that has status in the Smash community because of how people revere top players. Because someone can press buttons good. Now that person has like a fan base that will defend them tooth and nail, regardless if they're doing like just straight up wrongdoings. You know what I mean? And so when I saw that, it was angering me that I saw like people being like, oh, this could have been handled privately. This could have been handled privately. You guys don't know how much other people have talked to Elegant. If someone who is not that close to him had been able to talk to him twice about the fact that I am noticing a pattern, then there's no way people who are not closer to him would talk to him even more, right? But I didn't want to make this like a whole like let's shit on Elegant thing, because like, yes, we know that like he fucked up and he's most likely going to be gone, but at the same time I wanted to make it a point to be like, we as a community, we need to be doing a better job of like kind of, I guess, keeping people in check, because this is a moment where I think that if more people had kept him in check, then like he wouldn't have never got this bad, at least not as bad as the stories with him, like, being passed out drunk, peeing on himself in bars and shit, or in people's bathrooms and stuff. As far as the things that go on with Lauren, I think that was, we can't like retroactively go back and do that, because that was their relationship. And as much as I wish I knew her better, because I genuinely, I love Lauren. She's a wonderful person. And I wish I knew her better back in the days to have been able to maybe try to step in and be like, yo, bro, this is not cool shit. But I didn't know her like that. I didn't really know either one of them like that. But yeah, I think just in general, man, like we're at a point now where either 2020 is going to start up again, or people are really going to have to start getting checked, like for real. And I think this was one of the things too. I always make this joke, but it really has some truth behind it. Like, bullying fucking works, okay? Because I think genuinely that will make some people realize that their behavior is not okay. If Elegant did any of that shit in front of me, like if I saw him talking mad shit to like any of my friends in front of me, oh, I would have talked so much shit to him, bro. He would have never done that shit again. Absolutely not. Not with my friends. You're not gonna like the reason why bullies are bullies, right, is because they do it to people that they know won't say anything back. But have you ever seen a bully talk to a bigger bully? That's when you get to see the real shit. Like, that's when you really get to see how like someone is. Or you see a bully talk to someone who's not gonna be up dealing with their bullshit. Like, that's when you really get to see. And I think a lot of people could benefit from being told like, hey bro, you're being fucking weird, Like, I think a lot of people could benefit from being told that you're being fucking weird. And it's hard to do that when someone has an anger, an anger issue, because like, especially as women, you have women who are like, this man's punching walls and shit in front of like significant others or people he's interested in and stuff like that. Like, you're going to be like, it's going to be a little harder, or at least a little more understandable why a woman would not want to like put themselves in harm's way by telling someone they're being fucking weird, right? But me, nah, I'm gonna say what I gotta say. I've definitely called people. I've told people, hey, I'm not really like, I'm not cool with you like that. This is something that I've built in my own stream, where it's like, if you come in here on some weirdo energy, I'm gonna tell you that that's weird and you need to cut that out, or I'm gonna ban you. But I've also kind of like brought that to life. Like, if you're just being weird, I'm gonna tell you. Or if you're making, you're killing the vibes, you're being disrespectful to people for absolutely no reason, then yeah, I'm going to tell you that. I think in general, he's been given too many chances, because I think if you're able to act like this, I think if anybody genuinely is able to act like this after seeing everything that happens in 2020, you think you're invincible. 2020 should have been a well eye-opening situation for anybody who didn't like get called out, to be like, man, I really should like clean up my fucking act just in case. And instead, he like doubled down. And I think there's probably some other people who are like that, who just, are getting away because they know that the people that they are probably like abusing or like being rude or shitty to won't ever say anything. You know what I mean? So I know that like I've seen the other side of the conversation where people are like, oh, but like you don't have to go public with this because it's just publicly shaming someone. But after a certain point, that's the only way you will get to someone, because they know if they can keep getting away with it because you're never going to say anything, then they're going to keep doing it. But when the public gets in, that's exactly when everybody knows that you're shitty, that's when either you're going to change or you're going to get kicked out. And this kind of just goes into the fact that everyone, like, we all, like, a decent amount of us drink in tournament. I definitely drink in tournaments, right? You'll never catch me blackout drunk at any tournament. One, because I'm working and I have to be up in the morning to do my thing. But two, it's just never that serious. Like, you get a couple shots, you get a shot of 2 or 3. I'm good for the night, bro. We're big vibing. It's a great time, right? Like, once we start, going crazy, drinking full bottles and stuff, and like, now I can't speak correctly. I don't remember what's going on the night. It's too far. And I think genuinely, like, that's a life lesson that almost all people who are of drinking age and Smash, can learn. You don't got to go that ham. Being drunk can be fun. There's nothing wrong with, hanging out with people who are also of drinking age and getting, getting a little drunk, or, potentially drunk, little, tipsy, buzzed, or whatever fuck. And just kind of like going on with your night, like, after that, getting a little higher, whatever y'all decide to do, right? But this blackout stuff is getting on, and it's been in the thing for a while, because this is an issue that I actually had way back in the day with another Smash player, a prominent Peach player from the Melee community, who does now not play with us anymore. But that person would always get super drunk and then would like pass out in people's rooms, and people would have to take care of them. And it was like, oh, that person's just being that person. And I, at a very young age, was sick of it. I think I was like 24 when I was first like, bro, this is not okay. Like, why am I the babysitter for someone? We're in the same situation. I'm drinking, you're drinking, right? Why am I now the babysitter? There's nothing wrong with seeking help. There's nothing wrong with seeking help. And I think that's probably the biggest lesson that I would like to push about all this. It's like, yes, Elegant, you need to get help for sure. I think that in general, like, what you've done is very, very shitty, very ban-worthy, and I'm really proud of all the girls who were able to speak up and say what they needed to say, because it seems as though this has been going on for a long time. I mean, even after, like, you saw stories, literally everyone's mad people getting canceled in 2020 summer, and you're seeing stories start right after that. It's like, you made that tweet about you're going to be better than a certain someone, and then you turned your phone off and continued to be very shitty. I don't know. In general, man, I think
welcome to the
when people ask what we can do, like, in the future, my general thing is, bro, please check your friends. And if you're afraid to check your friends, then and we're friends, talk to me, because I have no issue checking any of these fucking top players, bro. I have no issue at all. Like, you being able to press buttons does not make you any better of a person to me. than the person who's going 0-2, right? Like, nah. You know what I mean? And in the same vein, I tell people the same way, bro. If you ever have an issue with me, you can talk to me directly. Like, I'm genuinely okay with being like, hey, man, you know, I had this bad interaction with you. We can talk it out, figure out there's a solution to it, or we can just talk it out and be like, hey, man, we're going to go our separate ways. Because that's just the life that, like, I live. Like, I want to be held accountable because I'm going to hold people accountable. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think I've seen a decent amount of people say that, like, oh, this is, like, not a good approach to publicly shame someone like this. And genuinely, I think if it's your first approach, yes, it is not a good approach. If you can try to handle this, if this person's willing to listen to you, then yeah, let us try to handle like that. But as has been shown with him and probably a lot of other people, that multiple people have talked to them, a decent amount of times that you've seen an allegation, it wasn't just one allegation, right? It was like a couple of people, right? So it's either this person is refusing to learn or they're refusing to change. And after a while, like, clearly you have to put more pressure on them. And what is more pressure than having the one place that you want to be tell you that you're not accepted, right? For good reason. So I don't know. That's just kind of how I see it. I would have loved to see this handled in private if he was able to handle it in private. But after seeing everything that Elegant did and everything that everyone else saw, that's on him. They tried to talk to him. And that's with multiple people. Most of the people that have got outed, people have tried to talk to them and they did not want to listen. And then they finally suffered the consequences of whatever, whatever they succumb to, basically. I think the only reason I feel for him is because I do genuinely think that there's probably some level of, like, upbringing that kind of affects the way that he has lived. But, like, once I started seeing in people's Twitlongers that he was doing these really shitty things sober, that's when you can cut it off and be like, it's not the alcohol, it's just you, right? Like, the alcohol will definitely heighten that, but he was saying really shitty stuff to Lauren, to Maggie, in general, without the alcohol. And I think, I think just in general, man, like, you can't really, like, say that it's just all the alcohol and that, oh yeah, if he stopped drinking, he'd be fine. Because he's shown that even without drinking, he's not fine. So I think the bottom line of this whole thing and everything I've said is that, like, hey, man, one, if you have a friend group and there's somebody in there that is, you know, causing issues, please check that person. Please check that person. You know, and if you need help checking that person, reach out, right? You know, reach out to the TO, reach out to other friends who are more abrasive than you, I guess, or more blunt than you. And two, Elegant, I really hope you get the help that you need to get. I think you gotta, like, the toxic masculinity thing of being like, oh, I don't need help. That has been proven false. You do need help. A lot of people need help. Everyone could benefit from therapy, as Kate said earlier. Even if you're good, like, just talking to someone who can, like, tell you that, oh, this is a very positive outlook on life that you have, or something like that, it's still nice to hear. So yes, Elegant, I hope that you do find the help that you need, be it AA, be it therapy, be it something that will make you realize that, like, this is a very big flaw in the way that you're living. And if you are watching this video and you're wondering how to get help, you want to get it very quickly, you can get it online within Amwell, and you can get it online within BetterHelp and Cerebral. There's 3 ones I gave you right there. Like, one of those can work for you. That's just a good way to start. If you want to do it offline, I would, you know, it depends on your area, but at the very least, getting some online help would be great. And then hopefully they can lead you in the right direction for some other things. And I hope that everybody who had to put these Twitlongers out, I hope they can heal. You know, between Magatron, between Lauren especially, between Kay and Shannon, I hope they all get a chance to, yeah. That's going to be it for this video, man. If you have any comments, obviously leave them below and stuff. And if you want to hang out in my stream, then go ahead and do so by coming to twitch.tv/TKBreezy. I'll see you in the next one. You know, be good to each other. Peace. This is the thing. I can't stop the world, right? But I can stop the general vicinity right around me. Like that's what a community is. If we can make our community a better place by like actually doing some good policing, then let's do that, right? We can attempt to make it a better place.